Last year, Baltimore police say they seized a record amount of illegally carried guns. But for the 6th year in a row, the city still reached 300+ homicides, leading us to question if the current strategies on the crime fight are really working. They're weapons that wreak havoc on Baltimore's neighborhoods. Illegally carried guns, from revolvers to rifles, making their way into criminals' hands with one purpose: to kill.
Every time you turn around, somebody is getting killed.
Rashida Murray lost 2 of her sons to gun violence in the city, just 7 years apart.
It's heart-wrenching because you feel like nobody cares.
A mother left wanting action as crime in our city in crisis continues to impact even more families.
It's still a down spiral, you know, and the violence, and then how they getting a hold of all of these guns.
It's a question we've been asking for years, why so many guns end up illegally into the hands of those terrorizing these streets and how they're being tracked.
There's a lot of guns out there.
This week, we got answers from the top.
Does the department feel like the same gun in many cases is being used in crime after crime after crime?
So we know that it is.
Lieutenant Colonel John Herzog oversees the Baltimore Police Criminal Investigation Division, which since 2018 has seized more than 6,400 illegally carried guns from the hands of criminals.
Is that making a dent in the guns that are still on the street?
Well, I mean, that's a hard question because there's a lot of guns out there, and we're definitely seeing a lot more people freely carrying guns on their person.
Herzog says in just the first month of this year, they've already seen a 40% increase in gun arrests and seizures, most of which have been connected to violence.
It was kind of a good indicator that in a lot of those instances, we were focusing on the right people when we made those arrests, people who were actually impacting violence and pulling the trigger.
It's a targeted strategy BPD says it hopes to expand on.
CGIC is a multi-agency collaboration.
Last week, they launched a new Crime Gun Intelligence Center, where in partnership with the ATF, they'll work to connect specific crimes to recovered guns and better share that information with detectives.
6 years in a row with 300+ homicides. Is this the approach that's going to help us get that number down, to get those bad actors, as we hear the commissioner say all the time, off the street?
So I think this is a part of it, right? So really it's not, like I said before, it's not just about going out there and seizing guns and deploying to where the violence is. It's about using all of our resources, all of our partnerships, and deploying to the right people, the right places, and having the right focus, and making sure that the officers who are out there in patrol have that information at their fingertips.
But in a department that's consistently understaffed, with a workload that increases seemingly daily, making any significant dent in Baltimore's gun violence will remain an uphill battle.
Obviously, it's never where we want it to be. We always want to see more. We always want to see more reductions, in violent crime. But I think last year was a really good starting point for us to build on.
The process of tracing guns and working with the ATF is nothing new, but BPD claims that this new program will help expedite the process. For now, it's just a pilot program focused on the Western District, which sees a majority of the city's violent crime. I'm Dan Lamparello, Fox 45 News.
You're just asking yourself, are you ready? Considering all the possibilities, all the options.
The passion of a fighter is seen in every punch.
I always knew this is what I was going to do.
And for Yahoo Blackwell,
he shouldn't have took this fight.
That mindset was motivated by a mogul of the ring.
Larry Holmes cannot continue that round after round. Oh, a big right hand.
I saw a Mike Tyson fight. I was a little boy, and I told my family, like, yo, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this.
A dream that's driven him to this day.
Somewhere deep in my heart, I always knew that I would get it.
Now competing on the main stage, a member of the World Boxing Council with 19 wins and a single loss.
I'm glad it happened because it taught me everything I needed to know moving forward.
That's exactly what his family pushed him to do.
I wouldn't be here without my family, especially my mom.
Blackwell's mom was an early opponent of the fighting lifestyle, but soon became his biggest motivator.
It didn't matter how many times I fell. It didn't matter how many times I failed. It didn't matter how many times, I came up short. She still was like, keep pushing. It's going to happen. Keep believing. Stay humble.
A mantra that's made him the man he is today.
Once you step through the ropes, you're prepared mentally to do what needs to be done.
But what he never could have prepared for was the blow to his mother's health.
It's something that sticks with you for the rest of your life. It never goes away.
Diagnosed with pneumonia and then hospitalized, things were declining fast.
It's tough. It's tough. It still feels like it just happened.
Then on a July day in 2015, she passed, leaving a hole Blackwell knew he needed to fill.
After that happened with Mom, it was like I was clear on which way to go.
Taking inspiration from one of their last conversations.
It's literally the very last thing she asked for.
A big idea.
Yeah. She gave me a kiss.
In a small
She wanted some apple juice.
Package.
And then she wanted Rita's.
A cotton candy Rita's Frozen Ice.
That was the last thing she asked for.
That pushed Blackwell to go from boxing into business.
Boxing is only a chapter, you know what I mean? But if you build an empire, that can transcend into generations.
An empire he hopes can begin here in Baltimore with his very own brick and mortar Rita's franchise.
You know, there was times I got so frustrated with Rita's and with just the whole process of building a business.
But his mother's last wish kept him on track.
If she was able to do that, you know, this is nothing. You know what I mean? This is nothing.
And so now this fighter is ready for prime time.
To finally be here, there's no way he's taking it from me.
Ready for his next opponent.
I plan on knocking him out.
And the adventure that follows.
Yes, I'm gonna be scooping ice, for sure. For sure.
I just want you to be involved in this community. We got unbelievable people in here.
Yeah, Chance is starting to make stuff up. My name is Tyler Smith, and my Twitch username is TDogSmitty123. Chance, thanks for the support and the love today. Thanks for the host and the raid. We averaged a smaller amount of viewers, and the subs were kind of hovering around 100. And now with that, we're at almost 50 viewers a stream, and in the 6-month period, we went from a couple viewers to 50, and then with subs, we were at about 100, and now we're at almost about 1,100. We are up to 1,041 subs. Who thought we would be here? Not me. My cousin actually, way back in '95, gave me a Nintendo 64, and he gave it to me for free. And that set off my love for gaming. They got my strategy though, which I don't like. I've always been into video games, and the explosion of Fortnite back in 2017 with Ninja and Courage and Tim the Tatman and all that, it kind of just gave me motivation to finally stream myself. Hello? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How we doing out there? The goal was always to make it a career. But again, people think that you can just turn the camera on and 50 people show up and they start supporting you, but it takes a lot more than that.
My first thought about Twitch was, what is Twitch?
She has been one of the biggest supporters because, again, the quality time goes down a little bit. When you're gaming from 8 to 12 at night, the quality time goes down a little bit.
I think the camera definitely brings out more of his chatty personality.
Here we go. The final again. With the pandemic here, it's a double-edged sword because it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing that's happening, but people have had the ability to stay home more and consume content, and that's kind of where I've found some wiggle room, and I think that's a part of my momentum. I think we're in. They're respecting the second place effort. And that's the chat we want in here. I'm staying where I'm at, and I love my job. And I love to do this on the side. It's a great combination. Glad that I could provide some sort of entertainment, because your entertainment has been my pain this week.